Good morning. Today we are continuing on with the area and perimeters. Today we are doing the CO67. I can calculate the area of a parallelogram. Now a parallelogram, we can see, has those four sides, but it's not a rectangle. And we're going to talk about the difference between a parallelogram and a rectangle. So first we need to remember what the area is. The area is the number of square units needed to cover the figure. So it's all of the inside of your figure. So when we're looking at our yard, the perimeter, remember, was the fence going around the outside of the yard. The area is all the grass to fill in the inside of your yard. So a parallelogram is a quadrilateral, like a rectangle. So it's got the four sides. And this has, with two pairs of parallel sides. Who knows what it means to be parallel? Matt? Yeah, so they are going straight across from each other. Those lines will never, ever, ever cross. As they continue on through time, they are parallel. So they are directly on top of each other or next to each other, never, ever crossing. So a rectangle has two parallel sides on top and two parallel sides on bottom. And we talked yesterday how they also have four right angles. So a rectangle is a special type of parallelogram because it has parallel on top, parallel on the sides, but it's got those right angles. So that's the rectangle. When we look at the shape that's like this, we can't call it a rectangle because it doesn't have four right angles. It does have parallel on the tops and the bottom, parallel on the sides. So they will never, ever cross. Okay, so there's a difference between a rectangle and a parallelogram. For the rectangle, we knew that we multiplied the length times the width for our area. The parallelogram, it's a little different because we have a slanty side. So we have to do stuff a little bit different. We're going to say that that area is the base times the height. So the base is the bottom, base, and then our height, like a triangle, the triangle goes from the base to the tip of the triangle. For the parallelogram, it goes from the base to the top. So we go from here and we go straight up to that top line. That is our height. So the height goes from the base to the tip, from the base to the top. No slanties. No slanty sides. I'm going to say that again. No slanty sides. They will give us measurements for the slanty side. Do we need to use that for our area? So what should we do if we see a measurement on the slanty side, Michael? We can cross it off so we know we can forget about it. Actually cross it off on your paper so you don't use it. Be careful when looking for the height. The height is that vertical line straight from base to base, from the top bottom line to that top line. Sometimes you need to imagine it or draw it in that connects the bases. So the bases are the top and the bottom. Not ever the slanty diagonal. Never ever slanty. So calculating the area of each parallelogram. I'm going to erase and scroll up so we can see how to do this. We know our area, you wrote it up top, base times the height. So we need to look at what's my base and what's my height. Base is the bottom line, it's also the top line. So if they give us just the top line, it's the same measurement for the top and the bottom. Then our height, remember, goes from one base to the next base. Straight up and down, it makes that right angle. So that is my height. Straight up and down, perpendicular, making a right angle. So what should I do with my slanty measurement that they gave me, Michael?
12 times 6.
What should I do with the slanty measurement? Cross it off. We don't need it. Every year I have friends forget that. Every year. So when I say cross off the slanty measurement, you don't need it for the area. Remember to cross off the slanty measurements. You don't need them. They will not help you find the area of a parallelogram. Don't be confused by extra information. They will always give us extra information with the parallelograms just to see if you know how to find the height. Don't get tricked by it. Cross it off. Sometimes they just give us the two measurements we need. Remember when I said the top is the same as the bottom for the measurement. So when I said base is the bottom, it's also the same as the top. They are the same. They are congruent. We can see they are congruent because they had those marks on them. They are congruent, same measurement. So here, how would I solve it? What should I write out? Rhoda.
6 times 12.
Yep, I've got my base times my height. What is 6 times 12? Audrey?
72.
Now remember, if they give you a measurement, you're going to write it on there. So these are centimeters. 12 centimeters times 6 centimeters. When we have centimeters times centimeters, we call it centimeters squared. You can't say 72 squared, because that means 72 times 72. Do not do that mistake. It's 72 centimeters squared. That tells us it's the area, because the centimeters are squared. Any questions? Okay. On the bottom, time for review. Really, truly work it through. We saw in the last homework objective that we had, some of us didn't really pay attention to what we were doing. We put down some numbers without checking it. Make sure you check your answers. Does it make sense? Okay, so don't just whip through it to be done. That's not learning. You're not going to do well on the test if you're just whipping through it to be done and putting down numbers. That doesn't get us anywhere. Do the work so you learn it and you do well on the test. Remember, Khan Academy is due tonight, so make sure your Khan is all done. If you have past due Khan from last week, make sure you get that done. Work on that math packet. Bring the math packet to me if you finish it so I can correct it right away so you can keep working on the math packet. If you are done with the Khan Academy and with the math packet, work on practice work. Tomorrow's a retake day. So once we finish the math test, we're working on retakes. I have some that I'm going to pass back. I've got a lot of people who should be working on practice work and bringing it straight to me so I can correct it. So we can get right to retakes tomorrow once we're done with the math test. Okay, so really work on it right away. Con, then math packet, then practice work. If you are watching this at home, I hope you are well, and I hope to see you soon. Have a wonderful day.